We started with 16 great teams in the Pine Tar Baseball Great Teams set. You chose the teams back in January. We created the cards. They are now available for you on ttlbaseballgame.com, along with all sorts of other sets and upcoming surprises from Pine Tar Baseball. It's an exciting time to be trying this game, getting into it, and I'm excited because the tournament that we set up with these great teams that you selected is beginning its final series. This is the World Series between the 1964 Philadelphia Phillies representing the National League, a Cinderella story, if ever there was one, against the 1980 Kansas City Royals. A mild surprise, but I don't think I'd call them a Cinderella story, representing the American League. How did they get here? Well, the 64 Phillies defeated the 65 Dodgers in 4 games. These are best of 5 series. Defeated the 86 Mets in 3 games. Swept the 86 Mets and put themselves on the map. And then they took 3 out of 4 against the 79 Expos, another Cinderella team. To get here, they have a record in this tournament of 9-2. The 1980 Kansas City Royals defeated the 87 Twins in 5 games in the first round. Then they upset the 68 Tigers in 5 games in the second round. And I'd have to say they upset the 74 A's in the third round in 4 games, giving them a 9-5 tournament record. They, excuse me, too much pregame vaping. The Kansas City Royals, will have the home field advantage, which means this is a best-of-7 series. They will be hosting games 1 and 2, and if necessary, games 6 and 7. 64 Phillies will be going to Shibe Park for games 3, 4, and 5. Both teams finished their respective series 1 game before the end of that series, and we've been going without any days off to force these teams to establish and use a 4-man rotation throughout. Well, they both finished their league championship series in 4 games, so they did have 1 day off, which means for both of them, they're coming back to the top of their rotations tonight. It's Jim Bunning for the 1964 Phillies. He is a 1-1 record in the tournament thus far against Dennis Leonard for the 1980 Kansas City Royals, who also has a 1-1 record in the tournament thus far. We're very excited to have a new sponsor on Pine Tar Baseball tonight. Very, very exciting. It's Lakeside Beef. And the really good news about Lakeside Beef, it has juices. That's right. There's 24 ounces of goodness in this can. If you open a can like this, it's like a Pandora's box of radioactivity, gremlins, tribbles, and those things from Ghostbuster. I guess they'd be ghosts. And so you open it at your own peril, but I'm thinking the beef inside is really good. Why? It has juices. That's right. This beef isn't dry. It has juices. Let's look at the nutrition facts on the back side. That's right. You want your total fat? By the way, 1/4 cup of beef gets you 12% of your total fat for the day. 1/4 cup of beef gets you 20% of your saturated fats, 12% of your cholesterol, and 6% of your sodium. That's right. Not only is it good, it's good for you. Lakeside beef. All right, we'll talk more about Lakeside beef later in the game. I'm very excited to announce Lakeside beef as Pine Tar Baseball's new sponsor. All right. The batting orders for today's game for the visiting Philadelphia Phillies using the DH for the first time in this American League park. Leading off at second base is Tony Taylor. Batting second in right field, Johnny Callison. Batting third at third base, Richie Allen. Batting fourth in left field, Wes Covington. Batting fifth in center field, Tony Gonzalez. Batting sixth in the DH, Frank Thomas. Not that Frank Thomas. Batting seventh at first base, John Hernstein. Batting eighth doing the catching, Clay Dalrymple. Batting ninth at shortstop, Bobby Wine. And pitching for the 64 Phillies, and as you can see, he's an A on the road. The first time through the order, the second time through the order, the third time through the order, and all subsequent times through the order. He has a maximum innings pitched of 7. He can improve that with good behavior. And strikeout modifiers on 55 and 77. This man was a stud. For the homestanding Kansas City Royals. Leading off in left field, Willie Wilson. Batting second, the DH, Hal McRae. Batting third, the third baseman, George Brett. Batting fourth, the first baseman, Willie Aikens. Batting fifth, the center fielder, Amos Otis. Batting sixth, the right fielder, Clint Hurdle. Batting seventh, the catcher, Darrell Porter. Batting eighth, the second baseman, Frank White. Batting ninth, the shortstop, U.L. Washington. We are ready to go. It's best of 7. Nobody's picking the Phillies. I don't know who I'm picking, except I'll tell you this. Nobody would have predicted the 64 Phillies would have gone 9-2 in a march through the National League. Here we go, sports fans. Tony Taylor stepping in the batter's box to lead it off. Dennis Leonard, the pitch. Struck him out on a bender. 1 gone in the first, and the Kansas City fans are going nuts. Of course, the 80 Royals lost to the 80 Phillies in that World Series. Now they've got a chance for redemption. Johnny Callison hit .274 in 1964. And he hits a ground ball to Aikens, who's going to take it himself for out number 2. And Richie Allen stands in. Richie hit .318 in 1964 and was the Rookie of the Year. Pitch to Richie is hit in the air to left, and it's going to drive Wilson back to the track, but he's got room, and he'll make the play for 3 up and 3 down in the first inning for the 64 Phillies. Dennis Leonard walks confidently to the dugout. Bottom of the first, it's Willie Wilson, Hal McRae, and George Brett. For the 80 Royals, Wilson leads off. He had .326 in 1980, and the 74 A's could not handle him in the last round. This one is slapped to right, however, and Johnny Callison's going to be there for out number 1. 64 Phillies, of course, have never played or seen AstroTurf. So we'll see how they adjust to that. Hal McRae, the pitch from Bunning. And Hal draws a walk. He's aboard with 1 out. And George Brett coming to the plate. Brett hit .390 in 1980. Pitch to George is a ground ball to second base. That's Tony Taylor. Taylor to wind for 1. Relay to Herrnstein is not in time. Brett legs it out. It's a fielder's choice, and Brett is aboard at first base with 2 outs for Willie Aikens, who did not get a lot of at-bats in the last round because of all the left-handed pitching the A's threw at the Royals. Now he's back in there against Bunning. Pitch to Willie. And Willie Aikens goes the other way to left field as Charlie Lau taught him to. Ball lands in front of Covington, and Brett will take third as the throw comes into second base. First and third with 2 outs for Amos Otis. Amos Otis, the Royals center fielder, .251 in 1980. Maybe the best center fielder of the 70s. He's certainly on the short list. Bunning to the belt. He checks Brett at third. He checks Aikens at first. There's 2 men out. The pitch home is a strikeout on Bunning's strikeout modifier of 77. That retires the Royals in the first. We go to the top of the second, and we have no score in Kansas City. Wes Covington, Tony Gonzalez, and Frank Thomas, not that Frank Thomas, coming to bat in the second. Covington hit .280 in 1964. Wes strikes out to lead off the second. That's Leonard's second strikeout on the evening. And with 1 out and nobody on, it's Tony Gonzalez, one of the heroes, as Covington was, of the League Championship Series. Gonzalez lifts one in the air to Amos Otis. Amos is coming in, but he's going to reach it and get there. And that's 2 outs. And it's Frank Thomas, .271 in 1964 before an untimely injury ended his season in August. The pitch to Thomas is lined to left field. It's down the line. It's the first hit for the Phillies of the game. Willie Wilson's going to chase it down in the corner, but by the time he does, Frank Thomas is going to stroll into second base with a 2-out double. And that'll bring up John Herrnstein, the first baseman for the Philadelphia Phillies today, who also did not get a lot of League Championship Series at-bats. Pitch from Leonard to Herrnstein is drilled to left. That's going to split Otis and Wilson, and Thomas is going to score with the game's first tally. Herrnstein gets to second with a double, and back-to-back doubles with 2 outs give the Phillies a 1-0 lead in Game 1 of the World Series. Clay Dalrymple is the 8th place hitter. He'd love to drive in Herrnstein. Pitch from Leonard is a range check. Get to the kitchen. Get to the kitchen. It's a range check. This one is pounded at George Brett. Brett comes up with it and throws to Aikens to retire the side. But with back-to-back 2-out doubles, the Phillies take a 1-0 lead after an inning and a half. The last game Bunning pitched was Game 1 of the League Championship Series against Steve Rogers. He lost that game 1-0. He's already got more run support in 2 innings of this game than he had in all of the last one. Clint Hurdle, Darrell Porter, and Frank White for the Royals. Pitch to Clint is lifted in the air to center. Gonzalez drifts into left center a little bit, but he's going to get there and make the play. That's 1 down. Jim Bunning got to get over that rocky first inning. They didn't score, but they sure put a scare into him. This one hit in the air to right. Callison toward the line. He's going to make the play. That's 2 down. With Porter retired, it's Frank White. Frank White hit .264 in 1980. Royals second baseman. Known for his glove, but he had some pop too. Range check. Range check. Get to the kitchen. It's a range check. This one is hit at the second baseman Taylor, and he can't handle it. It scoots on the carpet past him and into right field. Base hit for White. And that will bring up UL Washington with 2 men out and White on first base. Pitch from Bunning to UL is hit on the ground to second. Tony Taylor's got this one. He's going to go the short way to Bobby Wine covering second, and that will retire the Royals in the second. We go to the top of the third. It's Philadelphia 1, Kansas City nothing in Game 1 of the World Series. It's Bobby Wine, Tony Taylor, and Johnny Callison for the Phillies. And this one is hit hard by Bobby Wine. I'm going to repeat that. It's hit hard by Bobby Wine. He pulls it into left field. It lands in front of Willie Wilson. And Bobby Wine has himself a base hit. Gene Mauch flashing a series of signs to his third base coach, and I should know who that is, but I have forgotten. If you know, type it in the comments. Tony Taylor, 0 for 1 with a strikeout. I'm going to tell you this, gang. I'm going to tell you this very seriously. If you like the 64 Philadelphia Phillies, and for my money, who doesn't? You got to get this book. It's called The Year of the Blue Snow. It's from Saber. It's all about the 1964 Philadelphia Phillies. Yep, there you go. The Year of the Blue Snow. Help me create these cards a lot by giving me information that you can't find on Baseball Reference about this team. Year of the Blue Snow. I recommend it. All right, Dennis Leonard is to the belt. Bobby Wine is on first base. There's nobody out. Tony Taylor is at bat. He is going to square around to bunt, and he gets it down. Mauch calls for the bunt, and he bunts it to Brett. Brett gets it and flips it to Frank White covering first. That'll move Bobby Wine to second base. And with 1 out now, it's Johnny Callison coming to the plate with Richie Allen on deck. That is not a party. Dennis Leonard to the belt. He looks at Wine at second base. The pitch to Callison. Hit in the air to right field. Clint Hurdle puts his fork down, pushes his chair away from the buffet, and makes the catch. Wine is tagging and is shot down at third base. Clint Hurdle not only put his fork down, he took out his rifle and he shot down Bobby Wine trying to take third base with Richie Allen trying to come to the plate with, oh my God, with 2 outs and a man in scoring position. But it seemed like a really good, aggressive idea. But no. Clint Hurdle said, "Where is my freaking dessert?" All right. We go to the bottom of the Phillies do not score in the third. We go to the bottom of the third. It's the top of the Royals order. Wilson, McRae, and Brett. 0 for 1 for Willie in this game. Pitch to him is a base hit to left field. Willie Wilson's aboard and ready to cause trouble. Clay Dalrymple's arm is a -9. That knocks Willie down to a 78. Willie can go at any time. Hal McRae is in there. Bunning to the belt. The pitch home. There goes Willie. There goes Willie. And the throw down to Tony Taylor is not in time. Willie Wilson steals second base. He's on second base with nobody out. McRae up, Brett on deck. And a strike one count to Hal. Hal walked in the first. Pitch to him is line to left field. Wes Covington's got to come toward the line. It lands for a base hit. Willie Wilson is around third. He will score easily, and Hal McRae's on first base with a single. We are tied at 1 in Kansas City, and the fans hoot and holler their appreciation. With George Brett coming up, Hal McRae is on first base. There's nobody out. Bunning with the pitch to Brett is lifted to right. It's not deep. Callison will take it. And there's one down. Willie Aikens comes up. 278 for Willie. A single back in the first. Pitch to Aikens is hit on the ground to shortstop. Knocked down by Wine. He picks it up and throws, and they still get Aikens by 4 steps, but McRae moves to second base. So McRae's in scoring position with 2 outs. For famous Amos Otis, who's 0 for 1 on the day with a strikeout in the first. Bunting in a jam. He does not want the lead run to score. To the belt, looks at McRae at second base. The pitch home to Otis. Rare play. Rare play. Here we go. We have 1 runner on for this rare play. Amos Otis strikes out on a called third strike. Amos just threw his bat, and Ronnie Millsap just threw him out of this game. That's right. Amos Otis has been tossed from this game by Ronnie Millsap, the home plate umpire. Here come the second guessers. That's right. The second guessers are on their way. That retires the Royals in the 3rd inning of Game 1 of the World Series, and Ronnie Millsap is not taking any of your crap. All right, so Royals have some adjusting to do on defense. Fortunately for them, they have a Gold Glove caliber center fielder, and that's waiting in the wings, and that's Willie Wilson, who will shift to center from left. The new left fielder how do they want to play this? The new left fielder is going to be a man known to Royals fans of the 70s very, very well, but he has not played yet in this tournament. Pete Lecoq. Insert your Hollywood Squares jokes here. And Lecoq will bat 5th and play left field. Wilson will stay in the leadoff spot and shift to center. Dennis Leonard is back on the mound. We got a 1-1 game after 3 innings, and Richie Allen, Wes Covington, and Tony Gonzalez are coming to the plate for the Phillies. Richie Allen against a Leonard offering. He strikes out swinging on a Leonard breaking ball. That's 1 down. Wes Covington, 0 for 1 on the day. Wes has been tough to handle the whole tournament, and he just hit one over Willie Wilson's head. It's going to go all the way to the wall. Covington will get a double before Willie can get it back in, and that's going to leave Tony Gonzalez at the plate with 1 man out, and Covington on second with a chance to score the lead run. Pitch to Tony from Leonard. Ground ball third, gloved by Brett. He's going to throw to first. to Aikens, and that's 2 down as Covington holds at second. And now Frank Thomas steps in. Thomas hit a 2-out double and scored on Herrnstein's subsequent double way back in the second inning. Pitch to Frank. Hit in the air to center. Willie Wilson's got room. He's going to make the play, and the Phillies are done in the fourth. They get a man in scoring position with 1 out, but they can't bring him in. We go to the bottom of the fourth. We're tied at 1 in Kansas City. It's Hurdle, it's Porter, it's Frank White. And in the dugout, in the clubhouse, is a very steamed Amos Otis. Hurdle's 0 for 1 on the day, 294 in 1980. This one's hit hard. This one's left field. It's over Covington's head. It's going to rattle off the wall, and Covington will retrieve it. Hurdle's going to make it to second base, even though he just finished dessert. Porter will be at bat with Hurdle at second and nobody out. Porter's been a monster in the tournament. Big hit after big hit. Bunting to the belt, checks Hurdle, the pitch home to Porter. Hit in the air to right. Callison is lining up his throw. Hurdle is on second base. He looks like he's going to tag. The throw is not in time. Hurdle goes to third on the fly out to right, something that Bobby Wine was unable to do. Frank White with a man on third and 1 man out. 1 for 1 on the day for Frank. Bunting to the belt. Phillies infield is going to play in on this. They're going to play in. Pitch to White. Hit in the air to center. Center fielder Tony Gonzalez will make the catch. The throw is coming home because there's no reason not to. And he is safe. Hurdle scores on the sacrifice fly by Frank White. The Royals take a 2-1 lead, and with 2 outs and nobody aboard, it's UL Washington. UL hit .273 in 1980. He's 0 for 1 in this game. Pitch to UL is ball 4. Bunting not flawless today. And Washington is aboard. Wilson comes to the plate. Willie, 1 for 2 on the day, a stolen base and a run scored. Pitch to Willie is ball 2. Wilson's ahead on the count. 2 balls, no strikes. This one grounded to third and gloved by Richie Allen. He's going to go the short way to Tony Taylor for the out. But the Royals score another run. A leadoff double. Porter moves him to third on a sacrifice fly. And Frank White scored the calorie-counting Clint Hurdle on a sacrifice fly to center field. We go to the 5th inning with the score Royals 2, Phillies 1, and it's the bottom third of the Phillies order. Herrnstein, Dalrymple, and Wine for the Phillies. Herrnstein grounds one at Aikens. Willie gloves it, and he's going to flip it to Leonard for the first out. Dalrymple stands in, 238 in 1964, 0 for 1 on the day-to-day against Leonard. Pitch to him, hit in the air to center. Willie Wilson's going to get there, and that's 2 down. And Bobby Wine, an anemic 212 in 1964, but 1 for 1 on the day-to-day. Leonard, the pitch to him. Day strikes him out on Leonard hook. And after 4.5, we're halfway home. Royals 2, Phillies 1. And let's remind you of our sponsors, Pine Tar Baseball. Pick up your copy at ttlbaseballgame.com. ttlbaseballgame.com. And our other sponsor, Lakeside Beef. And not just Lakeside Beef. Lakeside Beef with the juices. That's right. It's 24 ounces of artery clogging goodness. And we didn't even finish the nutrition facts on the back. You eat a quarter cup of this stuff, you're getting less than 2% of your daily calcium. And you're getting 4% of your iron. That's right. 4% of your iron. 3D Lakeside Beef. Here it comes. Looks like it's coming right at you, doesn't it? Okay. Thank you very much to them. It's the bottom of the fifth. Hal McRae, George Brett, Willie Aikens. Hal McRae, the DH, of course, for these Kansas City Royals. 1 for 1 on the day and a walk. Pitch to Hal is hit on the air to right field. It's going to be taken by Callison for out number 1. George Brett 0 for 2 on the day. 390 in 1980. Pitch from Bunning. Hit in the air to center. Tony Gonzalez in his tracks. 2 down. And Willie Aikens. They called him Willie Mays Aikens when his career started. And then they realized he wasn't that good. So, the Mays got lost along the way. Willie Aikens, 1 for 2. Pitch to him. Comebacker, Bunning gloves it, and he's going to flip to Herrnstein, and that will retire the Royals 1-2-3. Bunning's first in the ball game here in the bottom of the fifth. We go to the sixth. Royals 2, Phillies 1. Leonard coming back out. Starting his third time through the order, and Dennis at home improves to an A when he does that. So Dennis is getting tougher as the game goes along. To the top of the Phillies order, Tony Taylor, Johnny Callison, Richie Allen. In the top of the sixth, Taylor. Center field, Willie Wilson coming on. Is it going to be a Texas leaguer? No, Willie's got it. 1 down in the sixth. Callison. Johnny's 0 for 2 on the day. This one's hit in the air to center. A regular one for Willie Wilson, and that's 2 down. And Richie Allen, 0 for 2 on the day. Richie lines this one to left field for a base hit, drops in front of Peter Lecoq. And with 2 outs, he's aboard with a single for Wes Covington. That means the lead run is now at the plate for Philadelphia. Covington hit a huge pinch hit home run to tie Game 3 of the NLCS. Pitch to him. Strike 3 called and some Leonard gas. Covington was looking for something else. We go to the bottom of the sixth. Royals 2, Phillies 1. Bunning coming back out. Lecoq for his first at bat of the day. He hit 205 in 1980. Jim Fry has a good feeling. I'll let you figure that one out. Pitch home to Lecoq. They struck him out in his first at bat in the series. Can you really blame him? You have the guy sit for 14 games, and then you send him up against Jim Bunning. Good luck. Clint Hurdle, 1 for 2 with a double and a run scored back in the fourth. Pitch to Clint is strike 3 called. On a breaking pitch, it buckled his knees. 2 down and 6 in a row for Bunning. With Darrell Porter coming up, Darrell's 0 for 2 today with a 249 average on the season. Pitch to Darrell is slapped to center. It's going to be a Texas leaguer. It's going to fall in front of Tony Gonzalez for a single for the Royals catcher. And now Frank White, 1 for 1 with a sacrifice fly, bringing home the lead run in the game so far, is on Frank's ledger for the day. Pitch to Frank. We got a range check. No, we don't. No, we don't. I was kidding. Fly ball left field. Covington. Even Wes is going to be able to handle this one. And that will retire the Royals in the 6th. We go to the 7th. Still 2-1 Royals in a very tense Game 1 of the World Series between these heavyweights. It's the Pine Tar Baseball Great Teams Tournament. TTLBaseballGame.com for all of your Pine Tar baseball goodness. Amos Otis is not happy. He is vaping in the clubhouse. Vaping. Tony Gonzalez, Frank Thomas, not that Frank Thomas, and Clay Dalrymple are coming up for the Phillies in the top of the 7th. Tony, a comebacker, gloved by Leonard. Dennis will throw to Akins, and that's 1 down in the 7th. Frank Thomas, 1 for 2. He has scored the Phillies' only run. He's the DH for them today. He has no idea what a DH is in 1964, but he's doing it anyway, and he's wondering what this stuff is that they're playing on. It's a lot of mysteries for the 64 time-traveling Phillies. 1 for 2 for Frank on the day. The pitch home from Leonard is a fly ball to center field. Willie Wilson's going to drift into right center, and he's going to make this play. That's 2 down. And John Hernstein, 1 for 2, drove in the Phillies' only run with a double back in the 2nd inning. Hernstein, they sort of have a 3-headed monster at first base, or sometimes 4-headed monster at first base for the 64 Phillies, and he is the left-handed batting component of it. The pitch to John is a range check. Get to the kitchen. It's a range check. Shortstop, UL Washington gets it in the hole. The throw to Akins is in time. That will retire Hernstein. And it's time to stretch him out in Kansas City with the score. Royals 2, Phillies 1. As we go to the bottom of the 7th, it'll be UL Washington, Willie Wilson, and Hal McRae for the Royals. UL 0 for 1 with a walk today. Bunning still going strong. Ground ball first base, gloved by Hernstein. He's going to take it unassisted, and Washington is retired to lead off the bottom of the 7th. And I'm going to take a drink of water just because I need to. Thank you very much. Willie Wilson is 1 for 3 on the day with a single, a run scored, a stolen base, and good defense in center field when he took over for the now vaping Amos Otis. Willie Wilson hitting the air to center. This is going to be gloved by Tony Gonzalez, and that's 2 down. Bunning has retired 9 of the last 10 batters he has faced. Hal McRae is up with 2 men out and nobody on for the Royals in the bottom of the 7th. The pitch to Hal is line to center, a base hit. Hal McRae is a hitting machine. He's 2 for 3 on the day, and it's Brett coming to the plate with a man aboard against Bunning. That's going to get the Phillies bullpen interested in the proceedings. Ed Roebuck and Bobby Shantz are going to start throwing double-barreled action in the Phillies pen, but Bunning is going to face Brett. Brett is 0 for 3. The pitch to him from Jim Bunning. Man, unbelievable. Line drive, base hit, center field, Brett. Tony Gonzalez charges, and McRae is forced to hold at second base, but there's 2 on with 2 out in the 7th for Aikens, who's 1 for 3. He's the cleanup batter, and Peter Lecoq is on deck. Bunting to the belt. They don't want to put Aikens on, even though Peter Lecoq does not get the square, if you know what I mean. The pitch to Aikens. Ball 2 to Willie. Willie Aikens is ahead 2 balls and no strikes. Bunting is running out of gas. The pitch is hit in the air to left. This drives Covington back. He's to the track. He's to the wall. He makes the catch to retire the Royals in the 7th. Aikens comes close. 1 more biscuit for breakfast, and Willie Aikens puts the Royals 4 runs ahead. But he didn't have his biscuits for breakfast. Clint Hurdle ate them all. Okay, sorry. All right. Enough Clint Hurdle jokes at the buffet. No, it's not enough Clint Hurdle jokes at the buffet. You're going to be hearing a lot more of them however long this series goes. But Willie Aikens didn't get his biscuit. Clint Hurdle did. So we're going to the 8th. Dennis Leonard is back on the mound because he's allowed 2 runs or less. He's actually allowed only 1. He's got Dalrymple, Wine, and Tony Taylor in his sights. And Dalrymple will bat here in the 8th to lead off. Pitch to Clay. It's hit hard to left, and it's going to get over Pete Lecoq's head. That's right. It's going to hit the wall on a bounce. Even Clay Dalrymple can make it to second on this one, and he does with a double. But sometimes things go a little bit too well because Clay Dalrymple did such a good job. He forces Gene Mauch to get him out of there and get in somebody that can run the bases a little bit. It's going to be Ruben Amaro pinch running for Clay Dalrymple. At second base, Bobby Wine is standing in the on-deck circle, and Gene Mauch is just shaking his head in the dugout, so it ain't going to be Bobby to try and drive in this run. Instead, it's going to be Johnny Briggs, left-handed pinch hitter and rookie for the 64 Phillies. Didn't get a lot of playing time except as a pinch hitter. Played a number of positions, hit .258 on the season. As you can see on his card, he's a left-handed batter with an on-base percentage of .347. Now the Royals bullpen has a chance to get busy. And how do they want to do this? Well. It's going to be... Oh, man. It's going to be Raleigh Eastwick and Dan Quisenberry warming up in the pen for the Royals. But Dennis Leonard, they're not even going out to talk to him. Dennis Leonard is the man right now. Ruben Amaro takes his lead off second base, pinch running for Dalrymple. Johnny Briggs is pinch hitting for Wine. Leonard to the belt, checks Amaro, the pitch home to Briggs. Ball 4, he walks Briggs. That's not good. That's not good at all for the Royals. Now Tony Taylor comes up with runners at first and second. He's got another chance to lay one down. Is Gene Mauch going to ask him to do that? Oh, boy. He's only a 54% chance bunting. Leonard to the belt. Taylor squares. He gets it down. Another successful sacrifice as this one goes to Brett, who throws to White for the sacrifice. And Amaro moves up to third, and Briggs moves up to second with one out. And now, two of the most dangerous hitters of the 60s are due up. Johnny Callison on an 0 for 3 day, and Richie Allen standing in the on-deck circle on a 1 for 3 day. They're sticking with Leonard. Jim Fry doesn't really know what to do, which, if you know Jim Fry, yikes. Pitch home to Callison from Leonard with 2 runners in scoring position and 1 man out. The Royals defense is playing in. Okay, Callison slams this one at Aikens. I gotta check something, because Aikens, okay, so Aikens gloves it. Fumbles it and steps on first because that's all he can get. And Amaro scores from third with the tying run. Briggs sprints to third, and the Phillies have tied the game on a ground out to Aikens unassisted, and it's 2-2. But now there's a bigger problem, and that is that Richie Allen is up with the lead run on third base, and that's Johnny Briggs. 2-2 game, top of the 8th. There's 2 men out. Allen is up with first base open, and Wes Covington in the on-deck circle. They're going to leave him in. Leonard's going to face Allen. Briggs takes his lead. The pitch home from Leonard to Allen is a strike 3 swinging, and that will retire the Phillies in the 8th. But on 1 hit, a walk, a bunt, and a ground out, the Phillies tie the game. We're tied at 2 going to the bottom of the 8th. We need a new catcher because Clay Dalrymple is out of the game. It's going to be Gus Triandos. Ruben Amaro will stay in and play shortstop in the bottom of the 8th, so he will stay in the 8th spot in the order. Gus Triandos will bat 9th and will do the catching. Briggs is gone from the game after drawing a very important pinch walk. Jim Bunning coming back out. He is allowed 2 runs or less. He's coming back out for the 8th, and there's still some action in the Phillies bullpen with Roebuck and Shantz. Pete Lecoq is 0 for 1 with a strikeout. He is up again. Hurdle is on deck and a napkin in his belt, and Darrell Porter after him. Lecoq. Ground ball second base, Tony Taylor. Gloves it and throws to Hernstein, and that's 1 down. It's Hurdle. 1 for 3, and the grease from some fried mushrooms on his shirt. a double, a run scored, and a strikeout. The pitch hit in the air to center. Tony Gonzalez will catch it near the track, and that's 2 down. And Darrell Porter, 1 for 3 on the day. And Porter hits this one to center. It's high but not deep. Tony Gonzalez will make the play. And another 1-2-3 inning for Bunning, his second of the game. We're going to the 9th. Game 1 of the World Series is tied 2-2. Dennis Leonard is coming back out, as he is eligible to do so because he's allowed 2 runs or less. The Royals bullpen is still at work with Eastwick and Quisenberry working. Covington, Gonzalez, and Frank Thomas coming up. Covington, 1 for 3 on the day with a pair of strikeouts and a double. Pitch to Wes. Ground ball second, taken by White, who will flip to Akins for out number 1. Tony Gonzalez 0 for 3 on the day. Pitch to Tony. This one hit on the ground to first. Akins is going to flip to Leonard, and that's 2 down. And now Frank Thomas, 1 for 3 with a double and a run scored. The hero in Game 4 of the ALCS with a bomb that clinched it for the Phillies. Pitch to him. Frank Thomas stays hot. This one's hit to left, and this is going to rattle around in the corner and give Pete Lecoq more than he can handle. Frank Thomas makes his way to second base, and that will be where he stops with 2 outs, and John Hernstein is due. And that's going to do it for Dennis Leonard. With 2 outs in the 9th inning, here comes Jim Fry making a slow walk out to the mound. And it's going to be Raleigh Eastwick, one of the GOATs of Game 3 of the ALCS, and getting a chance at vindication here in the top of the 9th. 1 for 3 for Hernstein. Thomas is on second base. They could run for him. And they're going to run for him. It's going to be Vic Power. Running for Frank Thomas at second base. Better chance at scoring on a single, and let's be honest, that's really all we can hope for Hernstein to hit. Although Hernstein has doubled and driven in a run today. 1 for 3 for John. Power works on his lead. Eastwick to the belt, the former Cincinnati Reds closer. The pitch home to Hernstein. Unbelievable. Hernstein drives this one to left. It's also over Lecoq's head. It's going to bounce off the wall. Vic Power scores from second base. Hernstein with his second double of the day. Yes, I said John Hernstein, second double of the day in the same sentence. And that drives in a second run for John Hernstein. Yes, that's right. I said John Hernstein has 2 RBIs on the day, and the Phillies lead in the 9th inning 3-2. Ruben Amaro, 1 for 3. No, he's not. He pinch ran and scored back in the 8th. This is his first at bat. The pitch from Eastwick is hit in the air to center, and it's going to be Willie Wilson making the catch. But the Phillies, on 2 hits, back-to-back doubles by Thomas and Hernstein, again plate a run with 2 outs for the Phillies. They did it in the 2nd, and they did it again in the 9th. And the 64 Phillies lead this game by a score of 3-2. But it's the bottom of the 9th, and the Royals ain't dead yet. It's White, Washington, and Wilson due for the Royals. Frank is 1 for 2 with a sacrifice fly. Bunning is back out there because Gene Mauch is going to ride him like there's no tomorrow. Roebuck, I'm sorry, that's not right. Chance is still throwing, but Roebuck has been replaced by Jack Baldwin. Be careful how you say that. And White will lead off with Bunning still in. He's allowed 2 runs or less. He can keep going until he allows a base runner. The pitch to White is hit in the air to center. That's Tony Gonzalez. How many putouts does Tony Gonzalez have today? Seems like I've been saying his name all day long. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 flyouts to center field for the Royals today. And now it's UL Washington, the speedy Royals shortstop. If he gets on, he can make some trouble. 0 for 2 with a walk today against Bunning. And UL Washington hits one to center field. The 8th putout of the day for Tony Gonzalez. And that's 2 outs in the 9th with Willie Wilson coming up. Then McRae if he gets on. And if they both get on, George Brett. 1 for 4 for Willie, a run scored, and a stolen base. The Phillies are 1 out away from stealing a win in Kansas City and taking home field advantage away from the Royals in the series. Bunning the wind, the pitch home to Wilson is hit in the air to center. That's not what he wants to do with it. The 9th putout for Tony Gonzalez of the game. He's got it, and the Phillies win 3-2. The Phillies win 3-2. Winning pitcher is Jim Bunning. He goes a complete game. Losing pitcher Dennis Leonard went 8 2/3. Bunning a 2-1 record in the tournament. Leonard now a 1-2 record in the tournament. Although Raleigh Eastwick again plants the goat horns on himself by giving up the inherited run to give the Phillies the lead in the 9th. Let's go through the box score, or the line score, for the victorious 1964 Phillies, now 10-2 in this great teams tournament. 3 runs on 8 hits. They committed no errors. For the vanquished 1980 Kansas City Royals, 2 runs on 5, 6, 7, 8 hits of their own, and a dogfight starting outside. No errors. So, Game 1 of the Great Teams World Series taken by the 64 Phillies over the 1980 Royals 3-2. Winning pitcher Jim Bunning, losing pitcher Dennis Leonard, goat horns to Raleigh Eastwick. The unbelievable offensive players of the day: Frank Thomas, 2 doubles, a run scored, and his pinch runner scored another run. A 1 run scored, and his pinch runner scored a 2nd run. And John Hernstein, 2 for 4, 2 doubles, 2 ribbies, and a game-winning ribby with 2 outs in the 9th. John Hernstein earlier in the tournament had a walk-off single. For the 64 Phillies. I want to say it was against the Mets, but I'll look it up and we'll talk about it before Game 2 starts. For Game 2 of this World Series, the pitchers will be Chris Short for the 1964 Phillies and Larry Gura for the 1980 Royals in a battle of left-handers. 1 threw hard, 1 threw slop. We'll see who emerges victorious. But I'll say this, Game 2 just turned into a must-win for the Royals, because if they go back to Shibe Park in Philadelphia, down 2-0 with 3 home games for the Phillies in a row, that's going to be a tall order. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. when we play Game 2. This one, final, Phillies 3, Royals 2. Thank you so much for joining me. Want to thank again my sponsors, Pine Tar Baseball, TTLBaseballGame.com, and Lakeside Beef with Juices. That's right, pick it up at your local grocer, if you dare. Thank you so much for joining me. My name's Kurt Berglund. Please comment and click like and subscribe to my channel for more Pine Tar goodness. Game 2 of the World Series coming up tomorrow. Thank you for joining me. Have a great night. So long, everybody.